Good evening, Book War community. I hope we find you well on this Sunday. We are just going to sit here and wait for Miss Hattie to pop on. Oh, there she is. Yep, 1 second. Accept. Maybe not. There we go.
It worked.
It worked.
Hey, Sam. All right, we're going to go with it.
It's getting better.
Yep.
It's almost like we know what we're doing. Almost.
Well, let's not be hasty.
Don't be hasty. Fair point. I feel like I haven't talked to you forever. I don't know. I just realized that today. I was like,
it has been. Well, our last BiblioTalk was a while ago.
That's true.
Yeah.
But we didn't talk between, but it's just been busy.
Yeah.
It's been crazy.
Well, you've had a super crazy June, so.
Yeah. This month, May and June were special.
Yeah.
May and June were special. But yes, so we are, I think I know, we're talking genre reads, right?
I believe that was the plan. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. You want to see my new earrings? Look at these.
I was actually going to comment. I was like, oh my gosh, I love your earrings so much.
10,000 Villages. This is not sponsored, but 10,000 Villages. And they're so cute. And they're really light, too.
Those are awesome. I love them. Cute. They're perfect.
I know. I had to change my outfit because they didn't shine enough.
They didn't show enough.
I had to put my other sweatshirt on.
They definitely shine. And your hair looks great too, by the way.
Thank you. And this is post. We went on a hike this afternoon, and I worked in the garden, and I just fluffed it up and put it. And I'm like, you know what? It looks fine. I know. I totally know. I'm like, I have to go at 6:15 because I have to go get internet ready, and I know it might take me a while.
I did the same thing at about 7:15. I was like, we finished the show, and I'm like, yeah, babe, I gotta go get ready. I haven't showered or washed my face or anything.
I know. And by the way, this is as good as internet. I got pimple. It's not great. My under eyes are still dark because my mascara.
I've got really crappy lighting, so a lot of shadows are helping. I'm just gonna say they're helping me.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's still internet ready. Yeah. But I put on pink lipstick. Yeah. So there you go.
What are you gonna do? Red lipstick. You did your pink lipstick. We're internet ready. The end.
This is internet ready for us. Okay. So June's genre read was romance. Hattie's absolute favorite. I'm actually super proud of you because you read 4 books.
So it's a series. I told Hannah about this. So I was like, what am I going to read for this romance? I cannot, for the life of me,
she cannot read a modern romance.
No, I cannot.
Let me jump into it.
I really cannot. That is super hard. And just irritating generally. So I remembered reading this so long ago. I wish I could remember when I read it, but I feel like we lived in Keene.
Oh, that's a while.
So that's been a while because we moved here in 2010.
Yeah.
From Keene. So I'm just gonna say it's been over a decade, I think, since I read this series. But I remember reading it, and I said to Hannah, I was like, I remember reading it, and I think I liked it. And I said to Hannah, I was like, and it felt like there was romance in it, there was these love stories in this series. And so Hannah looks it up, and she's like, yeah, Hattie, it's a historical romance series. I'm like, okay, that's what I'm gonna read.
It's genre in Goodreads, the library, that is what it is.
Oh. Thank you for that. Thank you for allowing me to read this again. I actually have enjoyed it again. It's been my go to bed read, so it's just because it's completely not important. You know what I mean? It's just and it's nice. There's one nice good love/sex scene in each book, so it's not all about it or anything, which would also annoy me. I mean, sex is great and all, but I don't need a whole book about it. Some people like that. That's fine.
You're talking to one of them. I like erotica, but
I get it. It's a thing that people they're into it, and I'm fine with that. But it's just okay,
it's not your thing.
It's not my thing. And this is a fun series. I'll tell you about it. So it's basically the series originated as it was called I looked it up just as I was getting ready for this, and originally it was called the Dark Queen Saga.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But that was when it was only 3 books. And those were the 3 that were about these 3 sisters.
Yeah.
Who are daughters of the earth, which is sort of like this moniker
Mm-hmm.
for witches
Right.
at the time.
Sure. Yep.
The powers that
Yep.
be who didn't like them called them witches,
Of course.
but they were just healers for the most part. It's about these 3 sisters. So each of these 3 books in the Dark Queen series about the 3
Mm-hmm.
sisters, the oldest and the middle and the
Sure.
youngest. And I got through the oldest one. That was my favorite one of the series that I remembered being my favorite. And I'm in the middle one. And I'm almost done with that. And I'm gonna read the next one too, just because I'm like, well, if I'm doing it,
Might as well do it all the
gotta
way.
do it. I know, because
Abby
I
doesn't
can't.
do anything
No,
halfway,
I can't.
people.
I can't. But so basically, so the background is really great. It's Catherine de Medici's France, right? And so she's sort of the big
Yeah.
baddie, right? She's sort of this
So
queen who's kind
give
of
me a time frame. Where
yeah. So this is like 16th century, so like 1500s.
1800s.
Yeah. So
And
so think about like Henry VIII
I was gonna say, is that
in
Henry
England.
VIII time?
Yep.
Okay.
It's like Henry VIII and Elizabeth the first in
Okay.
England,
Yep.
and then we got Catherine de Medici in
Okay.
France,
Thank
right?
you.
And
Thank you.
she married in. She was
Oh.
Italian. She's a de Medici, obviously Italian, and so she married in
Okay.
to
The French.
to the French. Yeah. And anyway, so she's the big baddie. And there's all this sort of like intrigue, and the second one is much more sort of like complicated with the intrigue stuff than the
Okay.
first one, but
Yep.
not to the point where it's annoying. It's just sort of like, oh, I forgot about that. It's sort of like because I'd read it before, and so it's nice that for me, it's really nice that there's sort of this like historically
Right.
contextual, like fictional story, like kind of going
Mhm.
on while also, your main
Right.
character is,
Mhm.
struggling with falling in love and all
Yeah.
this sort of stuff. And but there's other things going on. So I've actually really enjoyed it the second time around. I will definitely read the next one, the third one, just because, yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna do it, I got to do the whole thing.
Right. Well, but then you said there's a fourth one now,
Oh
and
yeah.
so has it changed? It's not the Dark
So
Queen.
then, yes, thank you. Bringing back full circle to where I started, because it was originally the Dark Queen saga, but then they changed it. I wrote it down, the Daughters of the Earth series, because now there's 8 books.
There's 8
Yeah,
books.
so it's these 3 sisters, but in those books they introduce some other sort of like side characters, and so then they get picked up as main characters
In
in
the next
the
set.
following books. Yeah, yeah. But I think it started out as this trilogy because it sort of like kind of wraps itself up pretty much
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
three
Yeah.
sisters, and this is
Yep.
but then she expanded it, and so now I think it is the whole thing is called the Daughters of the Earth series.
Series.
Yes.
Okay. There we go.
Yep, and I've read a bunch of them. I think I'm missing one. I think I like because I know one of them. She goes up. The main character goes up to Ireland. I
Oh.
think it's in Ireland. One of them. So it sort of spreads out a little
Yeah.
bit in medieval Europe with the various characters
Okay.
that get brought into the story. So anyway,
Interesting.
if you're into that, it's
Yeah.
like it's a nice love. They're nice love stories, but they're not like overwhelming
Yeah.
in the that like that's not the whole thing that's going on in the
Right.
book. That's what I'm
Right.
saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You're not boring me. I'm realizing I'm very, very tired.
Yeah, it's okay. A, that probably was a little boring. B
No,
is
it wasn't. It
it's
wasn't at all. But I might read those 3. I don't think you know me. I don't
it's
do series.
a little bit intense, all of them, but they're also sort of like for me, like I have them on my Kindle, and I know like I'll be able to read them on a plane
Right.
or like waiting, like when I'm traveling the next couple weeks. It would be good
Yeah.
like travel books, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they're not
Because they're pretty brainless, right? But
exactly.
like in a good way, like
But
in
in a
that.
good way,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. So I'm looking forward to finishing this one and starting that next one. And who knows, maybe they can just be my night reading and travel reading for the summer. Who knows?
There you go. Some little summer Hattie's beach
My
read.
beach treat. This would actually qualify as like a Hattie beach read. I would say
Yeah.
that. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's nice. Yeah.
Absolutely. What did you read? I don't even know what you read. I feel like.
So I read The Unhoneymooners.
Oh, I've seen that. Okay.
Yep, by Christina Lauren, and it was fine.
Okay.
I have to be. I like romance.
Yeah.
I started on romance. Like the first books I brought home that I really remember from the library when we were in Burlington were Harlequin romances. When we were in New Hampshire. I wasn't in New Hampshire.
No, you
In New
weren't.
Hampton, which was like middle school and high school, that was when I fell in love with Jude Devereaux, who I don't read anymore. Like, but so anyway, so like romance has always been part of my part of my reading, and I've always liked it, and I still do like it. But I have found that I have seasons where it hits and I like it, and then I'm like, what? Okay. So, so I think it's just important for me, for anybody who hears my review, just to understand that like part of this is also like I'm just not there right now. This was great. I mean, it was interesting. It was entertaining. It's about these two people who end up going on a honeymoon for the couple that they're at the wedding for, because the couple as well as everybody else gets sick from the buffet, and these are the only two people who didn't eat off the buffet, and so they go on this honeymoon together because it's like, you know, she wanted in a sweepstakes, and so it's non-refundable, all that. Okay, so it's fine. You know, it's a oh gosh, I can't remember the trope. Hold on, give me a second. It's right there.
Okay.
I want to say haters to lovers, but that's not the word.
Yeah, enemies.
Enemies to lovers. I'm like, oh my god, it's not haters.
Like, it's not haters.
Taylor Swift's in my head apparently. Anyway,
so yeah.
Haters to lovers. Oh my god.
Yeah,
enemies to lovers. A little bit. It is set, or it's not set in Minneapolis, but they live in Minneapolis. Most of it is set in, I don't know, Colorado. I don't know where the resort is off the top of my head. It didn't matter to me. It doesn't matter.
So it goes right through.
Yeah. No, it was maybe Hawaii, Maui. It was in Maui. That's where it was.
Oh, there we go. How you went from Colorado to Maui?
I'm like, all of a sudden, like, those are very different.
Wow. Okay.
I did it like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
So
you've been sitting on it, yeah.
Yeah. So, but it was entertaining. It wasn't, you know, there were certain tropes in it, but they weren't used in a way that like you want to like hurt yourself.
Okay, that's good.
It's a modern romance, so dealing with like jobs and other family members and that sort of stuff, and a little bit about I'm going to call it emotional manipulation and lying and cheating within relationships. Touches on that a little bit. So, I mean, again, like, I think if that's what you're like, if you just want, it's like a good solid 3 as far as I'm concerned. There's nothing in it that made me be like, what in the world what am I reading? But there was also absolutely nothing in it for me that was like, oh, I like this one. Mm-hmm. And I have to tell you, I can't tell you what it is about a romance sometimes that is the thing that's like, oh yeah, that one worked for me. And like some of them are just like, I don't know. It was fine. So this was fine. It was not objectionable.
That's something.
It was not objectionable. And if it sounds, because you all picked it for me to read. I had like 4 other options. This is the one you all chose. But it has been out and about, and lots of people have read it. And like, again, it is like a good, solid beach read. Like, if you have the opportunity to pick it up at the library or borrow it from a friend, or, you know, see it in a, I was going to say a to-go box. That's not what I mean. A free little library. To-go box.
Wowza. Okay.
I want to rename my free little library books to-go box. I get it. Like, I don't think you'll be at all disappointed, and you might actually really love it. So
it's been everywhere. Like, I've seen it, and I don't even like read romance, and I've seen it like popping up in places. So it's definitely like one of those ones that's like out there right now that people are reading and enjoying. So.
Agreed. Yep. So I definitely, I can't not recommend it, and I can't be like everybody needs to go read it at the same time.
It's like it's whatever. There's a lot of whatever kind of books out there.
Well, and I also think like, and this is just like, this is the truth of reading is. I could read it. It wasn't like I hated it. It wasn't like I enjoyed having it in my hands. Like, it wasn't something that's like, oh my god, I have to go read that book. Like, it wasn't that at all. The characters were really not super obnoxious. Of course it's contrived. It's incredibly contrived, but every romance is contrived.
Is. Oh
which
my
is
God,
why
yes.
I hates them.
Yeah, that is probably why I hate them, because they're so annoying. Yes.
Because they have to be. Yeah. So, but yeah, I just also think that romance is so, I mean, I think all reading is incredibly personal, right? Like, it is very specific.
Like, what is going to hit you, right, and what you're going to like.
And we've talked about this. Like, we're basically the same person, except in our readings. We read extremely, I mean, we do read a lot of the same stuff now, but like, our
pleasure reading, like what we choose, like just of like, this is what I want to read for like entertainment and pleasure. Those categories for us are very different.
So it's like, of course, so, but yeah, it was on my shelf. It's not read. So that feels good.
Very good. Okay. I was debating whether or not to tell you guys about this story. Hannah's going to die over this. It's so funny. So, just sort of talking about books that, like, I could read it, or I, had to put it down, kind of thing. And also like popular books that everybody loves. Okay.
What did you try?
I picked this book up at the library because I'm like, you know what? I read the jacket, and I'm like, I know everyone is reading this book and they love it. And I read the jacket and I'm like, okay, I think I can read this book. Hannah will recognize it, I think, immediately because it's everywhere. Have you read this?
I can't believe you read it.
Have you read this?
I haven't read it, but that's because I watched another booktuber talk about it, and she was quite
okay. Hannah, I had nothing to say about this book because guess how far I got? Just guess.
Through the first 2 chapters?
No. Page 11. Because you know what pops up on page 11?
What?
A blog with all of the comments. I'm like, oh my God. I will refuse to read comments in real life on my real feed. Never once have I ever read comments on anything ever on the internet. I'm like, page 11, and it's a blog with all the comments. I got to that, and I literally shut the book and set it down.
Oh my God, that's really funny. And I love that was what it was about, right? Like, it was, I don't even care. I don't care about what this is.
Nope.
Like, this is
taking, like, force myself to read that. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, have you read a book that has, I bet you haven't even read a book that has like this in it. Hold on, like this, like texts?
I have the books that you tell me that I have to read, they're like that.
Have I read?
Well, not text so much. I was just thinking books that have like weird formatting like that.
Oh yeah, like extremely loud and incredibly close.
I haven't actually read that one. I was thinking Emergent Strategy, which is all like weird all the time.
Oh yeah, no, I don't mean that. No, okay, like this is like part of.
I don't know that I have. Yeah, I'm gonna go with I don't think I ever have, because that would I don't think I have. Okay.
Because I'm not talking about, like, it's not exactly genre bending. Like, that's not necessarily genre bending. Which is like, I mean, in neither is Emergent Strategy. That's just a totally different.
No, that's just a totally different thing. Yeah, that's a totally different. But I'm not tracking Emergent Strategy. I'm just saying it's written in a.
It's really loud and incredibly close. Like, I really love books like that do like genre bending, where or like where you have prose, but then you'll have like a poem or like poetry or like a piece of artwork. Like, I really like that. I like the play of that. I like have never loved the texting piece but it also feels right with modern romance.
So modern. I absolutely
people talk
how
to
people
each
communicate.
Other.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
probably another reason I can't read modern romance, because I get to page 2 and they send a text and I'd be done.
And you're done. Yep. You're like, and over. And finished. Yep. Oh my God, that's really funny. I did not know that there was a blog in that.
Because I literally got there and I just shut the book. I'm like, no, I can't even force myself to do that.
We're part of that group. Apparently, because I was trying to let you know about this, that we are part of this particular age group. That group between like the very oldest millennials and the youngest Gen Xers, like that little bubble.
We are in a weird little bubble.
We're in that like weird little
very
bubble.
Early 80s, we're in a weird bubble.
And they're like, and I guess there is like actual. Lionel said this. Is my husband, who's a techie, and he like reads everything.
It's Lionel.
But again, that's my source. Yeah. So, but he was saying that particular bubble, actually, they've done studies on how we engage in social media, and we only witness. We do not. as a whole, like it trends. We are not the people who are commenting. We are not the people engaging in conversation, good or bad. Like that isn't how we do social media. We still have this like weird,
watch it go by.
Like we just watch it go by and we enjoy the content, but like, and you know, we don't really follow or subscribe. We're like, why would we do that? And yeah, I actually just I had a conversation about this the other day with a group of older folks, and they're like, they were talking about how they'll like get in these heated debates. I'm just like, why are you talking to people?
I can think of no reason to do that. I literally
they're not people that matter.
Like, why are you talking?
But anyway, but I guess it is like this kind of like weird phenomenon. Yeah. According to my husband, who read something sometime on something.
Yeah. And
so
also already thinks we're weird. So the fact that he's finding evidence for our weirdness.
Yeah. Well, and he's in it too, actually. I mean, he's right in it.
He's the same age.
So he's 83. So, but yeah, it's interesting. So yeah, that is hilarious.
I didn't even die over that. I'm like, I literally was like, I'm going to pick up this book because this is a popular book. And
it is a very popular
book.
Yeah.
And I did. I read the jacket and I'm like, okay, this doesn't sound terrible. Like I can.
Huh. You can give it a go. No, page 11.
Page
Didn't
11.
even get to the second chapter.
And I'm like, and done. I literally don't care because I will not read this, and it's probably important to read it for this story. And I'm not doing it. And
fair enough. See,
so that's it. About that.
We all have our preferences.
Yeah.
Quick question. Sure. Do you know what our genre is for July? Because I did not look it up
right before this because I'm like, I have no idea. And I do not know. This is just so like anyway, it's contemporary fiction.
You're having a heck of a summer.
I'm like, can we pick something that isn't like...
Well, Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close is contemporary fiction. Because you can do literary fiction. It just has to be contemporary.
It just has to be contemporary.
Contemporary just means that it's set in our time. Oh, my
light. Oops, some light just went off or something.
Yeah, I think my thingy died. It's fine.
I know.
Oh, well. This is what I look like without a ring light.
No, you look great. You look fine.
Give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to open up my blinds again.
Sure.
Because I pulled them down. We were doing weird...
Yeah. That sounds terrible over the mic, just so you know. It was such a weird sound over the microphone.
Oh, the light going off?
No, you pulling the shades.
Oh, the shades. Yeah. Oh.
It just got completely amplified and weirded from the microphone. I was like, whoa. And it's like throwing boxes out the window, you know? That's what
no, they're really good shades, though. They are like the best shades
you have really nice shades.
In the guest room. Are the best shades in the house.
They are really nice in there.
Yeah. So we could find you a literary fiction, I think, Hattie, that you wouldn't hate. We'll find you a literary fiction.
There's something, I was looking at my shelf, though. I literally don't have, like, even any fiction on the shelf. Well, the only fiction I have on the shelf is A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, but I don't think that's considered contemporary, although it was written
not contemporary.
It
was when it was written, yeah, but it's not now.
But it's 100 years. It's pretty contemporary.
No, that's not, No. It's
very contemporary.
I'm going to put my foot down and say,
it has to be written
if the genre is contemporary fiction, that means it needs to be set in at least the 1960s on.
The story has to be set in it? It can't just be written?
No, Hattie, it's the story, yes. Otherwise, it's just fiction.
Oh,
that's contemporary fiction.
I thought it had to be like a modern writer, so I could like pick
no. I'm making this work. But literally, Hattie, when you come, because Hattie's coming here on Friday, we can look at my shelf because I do have a lot of literary fiction, which is like the highfalutin, fancy dancy fiction. But I have quite a bit of it that is contemporary.
Okay.
And I'm just going to say 1960s forward. Okay. The story is set. I'll give you that much history to the 1960s. So like the Big Fatty that we read, the Love
Pinko or whatever it was.
No. Well, that one maybe too, but the love songs of W.E.B.
W.E.B. Du Bois,
that would be contemporary fiction.
Okay.
So you can read something like, we'll find something.
We'll find something. I'm being overly melodramatic, but I'm sure we'll find something, and it probably will be good.
Yeah, I'll pull all my stuff stuff, and then you can pick what you want if there's anything in that you want, and then I'll put up the 4 options for folks to vote on later, not this week, but next week after the 5th.
Okay.
So you can pick your book first, since you don't have anything there.
I don't think I do. I literally think I'm gonna have to go to the library because I don't think I have anything that fits. And now that the story has to be modern, not just the writer, I really don't have anything. I'm like looking at myself.
I'm pretty sure I am right in like what the like contemporary romance is, or modern romance is like the same as kind of like.
No, I'm sure you're right. Yeah. I'm not saying you're not right. I'm just like,
no, I know. I'm just like, now I'm like sort of questioning myself, and if somebody has a comment or a decision on this, please feel free to contact us in the myriad of ways that you can.
Probably right. That makes more sense anyway. I'm just not happy about it.
Fair. Okay, I have one thing I do want to say about. Hold on, I wrote all this stuff down on the book because I think in our last BiblioTalk I talked about. Oh gosh, now I'm going to forget the name of the thinking book. The one about Ireland.
Say Nothing.
Say Nothing. Thank you.
I read it.
Written.
I
what?
Read it. Oh. I listened to it.
Did you like it?
It was amazing.
Yes, by Patrick Radden Keefe.
Yep.
And so after I read that, I checked. He actually has a new book called Empire of Pain, which is about the Sacklers and who first got their fortune in Valium and then made a fortune in oxycodone.
Yeah.
Oxycodone.
Yep.
And I'm almost finished with it. I've been listening to it. I'm like an hour and a half from the end. It is so. I'm just going to say, I highly recommend it. And I was watching a news thing on YouTube the other day with Laynell, like literally 3 days ago. And apparently this last week, the Supreme Court, I have to go read it a little bit more because I didn't quite catch all of the details, but actually put a ruling down about a case that came in front of them about the Sacklers and about the opioid epidemic. So I'm going to go read that too because I'm sure obviously that wasn't part of this. So, but yeah. Fascinating. And he does a really good job. And he in this audiobook, at least, I don't know, did he read Say Nothing?
I don't think he did.
Yeah.
I don't think
Empire of Pain, he actually reads.
Okay.
So
does he have
an
Irish accent?
No.
Then no, he didn't read Say Nothing.
Okay. No. He does not have an Irish accent. Or at least he didn't put one on for the Empire of Pain.
Usually, if the author's reading the book, they're going to read it in their own voice, like their actual voice. Yeah. And I don't think that this author put on this Irish accent to read Say Nothing.
I know. I thought Say Nothing was a really fat book, and I actually read that book. I read it.
Yeah, it took a while to get through. Yeah.
I got Empire of Pain from the library, and it came, and it was like twice the size. And I was like, no. I gotta listen to that one. Yeah. But it's been really, really good. I just wanted to say that one has been really, really good as well. So definitely worth people's time. If and I told my husband, I was like, I think you should read this book. And he goes, is it gonna make me sad? Is it like just really full of sad stories? And I'm like, you know what? Actually, no. Mm-hmm. Like there are some, right? Like there's like he uses those narratives as ways into the humanization of the story, but it's really not it. This is my kind of like what we call like court intrigue. This is my kind of court intrigue, like these like millions of different ways of like things that are happening all at the same time, and like it creates this thing, and then like to pull it apart, to pull the threads out and look at the threads, but then also understand that they're still part of this whole web. Mm-hmm. And I just think he does a really good job of that. So I don't really love like court. I don't love like intrigue, like court political kind of shows, but apparently I like them in my books. Because I think Say Nothing was kind of the same way, right? Like it's just like
a little bit, all of these. It was a lot of different. It was a tapestry for sure. Yeah.
And like just getting to like go down those lines sometimes, and then like pulling them back, and I enjoy that. So I just wanted to say that I just wanted to recommend that book if anybody had it on there, maybe TBR at it.
I I must have seen it because I saw it somewhere too. Because I read I listened to the book Say Nothing after you recommended it. I was like, oh, that was really good. And so I don't know if I was like looking on the internet, to see if he had something, or if maybe they mentioned it. They might have mentioned it actually at the end of that book that he had this other
I
one
think maybe
coming
that's
out.
actually, it's kind of probably where I read that he
Yeah.
had another book too.
Because as soon as you said that, I'm like, oh yes, I did see that he had that other one. I was thinking about picking that one up too.
Yeah.
To listen to. I'll listen to that one too if it's that long. But
yeah, it is.
yeah. But he was a good writer too, and
He
I
is.
thought Say Nothing was fabulous for sure. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and he is a deep dive,
yes.
like nonfiction writer. But
Mhm.
I still find it very, like, I do think he does a good job. It's not quite like ethnography. It's not
Mhm.
quite
No,
to
it's
that
not quite
level,
that. No, definitely not
and it's not
ethnography, but
quite the full like story fiction or story nonfiction, like cold,
yeah,
in cold
well,
blood,
not
or
narrative nonfiction. I think that's the word you're looking for. It's
yeah,
not that.
narrative nonfiction. Thank you. That is the word I was looking for. It's not quite that. It's somewhere in between, and
It
he does
is
a
kind of in
really good
between. You're
job.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Agreed.
So
Agreed.
yeah. So anyway, I think that's it. That's all we have
Okay.
today, right?
I will just say one more thing, just because I read this one and I read her other one
Oh
last year and I
yeah.
really liked it.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, it's okay. I was just real quick. This is called Goddess of the River.
Beautiful cover.
It's by Vaishnavi Patel, and she wrote Kakei, which I read either
That's
last year or the
right.
year before.
I think it
Right?
was 2 years
So
ago now.
it might have been 2 years that I read that one. And Kakei was really good. Basically, they're sort of like reimaginings of Hindu goddesses, right?
Ah,
So sort of like retelling their stories from sort of a slightly different perspective, a little bit more of a kind of a feminist perspective. So they're not
yeah.
always sort of like the evil bad guy,
Right.
bad lady, as the case may be. Which we're so used to in America. All we vilify women characters all the time, whether it's in mythology or in real life.
Right. Right.
And apparently some of the Hindu goddesses got a bad rap as well along the way. And so Kakei was sort of a reimagining of Kakei, the goddess in the Hindu goddess, and then this one is the river goddess. Ganga is her name, and it's sort of a retelling of her story. And I really liked both of them. I think I like Kakei better. I think I don't know. I think I like her
So
story better. Just
they're
I think this.
fiction.
Yeah.
They're fiction.
Well, yeah. I mean, well, okay.
Well, no, I mean, like, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. Like, obvious. Okay, what I mean is like they're a fictionalized. Like, it's not like a treatise on who this goddess is and like a deep historical understanding of who they were.
No. Okay. No, this isn't like an academic work.
That's what I was trying to get. Okay, there you go.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm like, not sure how you want me to answer this question right now. About like mythology and whether it's
No,
fiction or not. I'm like, that's like a whole series of
no,
BiblioTalks.
I
Um,
got it. I got that part. That's not what I'm asking. I'm
I know
asking
it
what.
could have been what you were asking. That's what I was like, this is not a historical. This is not like an academic historical
Okay,
book in any way, shape, or form. It's a story. It's
got
it's a story, and just sort of
it.
Vaishnavi
Reimagining
Patel's
her story. Yeah, yeah,
reimagining
yeah. Yep,
of the mythology. So
got it.
it's a
Yeah,
mythological
yeah.
reimagining. How
That's
about that?
cool though.
Okay, yeah.
Good.
And the covers are gorgeous. The Kakei one
Yeah,
is super gorgeous, and this
yeah,
one's
yeah,
super
yeah.
gorgeous. I just wanted to say that really quick
Yeah.
too.
I don't
Um,
know who their
yeah,
cover artist is, but
I feel
they
like she thanked him in the acknowledgments, but there's no way I'll ever remember who it was. So
it's beautiful though.
not even
Yeah,
trying.
they
I
both
know,
are
gorgeous
gorgeous.
cover. So anyway,
Yeah.
so I just wanted to say that one really quick
Yeah.
because I liked the first one and I liked this one too.
Good.
So
Good. No, that's good. And then I think we're doing another Biblio talk while we're together not next week, but not this week, but the week after. Wasn't that what we decided?
well, we won't be able to do it on a Sunday because
No. Yeah.
we could
We
do it
no.
any time that's not any of the days that we're together that's not a Sunday, and we haven't
Yeah, I was thinking we just
determined which
talked
day.
about maybe doing something during the
Yeah,
week
we could
at camp.
definitely do that. Yeah.
So we'll see.
So the week of like July 8th through
Mhm.
11th at
Mhm.
some point.
Maybe. Don't hold your breath.
Oh,
Nobody hold their breath. Nobody does. Don't worry.
oh, oh my gosh. Nobody is even worried about that or paying attention. So
So, sounds good.
we're good. Yep.
Anything else, sis?
Nope. I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. Hope you get a couple of good recommendations out of this. And yeah, we will chat with you next time
Next time. Who knows when that'll be?
when that'll be. We'll find out. Okay. Night.
Good night, everybody.